It was meant to be nothing more than a routine corporate dinner. My wife, Sarah, had encouraged me to attend, saying it would be a good opportunity to get acquainted with the people she worked with. I wasn't particularly enthusiastic about going. Gatherings like that often felt artificial to me, filled with conversations that seemed rehearsed and people eager to outshine one another. Even so, I agreed. I wanted her to know I supported her. The moment we entered the beautifully decorated banquet hall, I noticed how polished and stylish everyone looked. Laughter bounced off the walls, blending with the low hum of conversations happening in every corner. I remained at Sarah's side, proud to be there with her, until someone drew my attention. One of her colleagues, a man named Daniel, appeared, unusually focused on her. From the second we took our seats, his attention rarely shifted away from Sarah. He complimented her dress, admired her hairstyle, praised her smile. The remarks kept coming. Initially, I brushed it off as harmless admiration. But as the evening progressed, his conduct became more intrusive. He leaned far too close whenever he spoke to her. He placed his hand on her arm as though they shared a familiarity that didn't exist. He laughed exaggeratedly at everything she said. I could sense Sarah growing increasingly uneasy, though she maintained her composure and remained courteous. Then, without warning and in full view of everyone at the table, it escalated. Daniel reached across and seized Sarah's hand, gripping it firmly while declaring, "A woman like her deserves better." The entire room went quiet. Conversations died instantly as every gaze shifted toward us. I saw the disbelief in Sarah's eyes, her mouth slightly open in shock. She attempted to withdraw her hand, but his hold lasted a second longer than it should have. That was when I realized I couldn't remain seated. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't lash out. Instead, I slowly pushed my chair back. The scraping sound against the floor seemed to echo louder than it should have. All attention followed me as I walked around the table with measured steps. Daniel's self-satisfied expression flickered with uncertainty, yet he still held onto Sarah's hand. He clearly anticipated an angry explosion from me, but that never happened. I rested my hand on his shoulder and leaned in so only he could hear. In a calm, controlled tone, I said, "Release my wife's hand immediately, or you will regret it in ways you won't be prepared for." My voice wasn't raised, but it carried enough force to slice through the tension in the air. At once, Sarah's hand slipped free. The color drained from Daniel's face. He reclined in his chair, muttering something about a misunderstanding, though no one around us seemed convinced. I straightened my jacket and stood tall before addressing the entire table. "Respect is not negotiable," I stated evenly, letting my gaze move across each person present. "Not for my wife and not for anyone here. If this kind of behavior is acceptable at gatherings like this, then we won't be attending again." The silence that followed was heavy enough that the faint clink of a glass touching the table sounded amplified. No one intervened. No one objected. My words lingered in the air. Sarah looked at me, her eyes wide with gratitude. I helped her up from her seat and guided her calmly toward the exit. As we walked away, murmurs began behind us, but no one attempted to stop us. The sight of Daniel sitting there, embarrassed and exposed in front of his colleagues, stayed etched in my memory. He had stepped over a boundary, and I had made it clear that it wouldn't go unanswered. Outside, Sarah gripped my arm tightly. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice trembling. It was clear she was shaken by what had happened, yet there was also visible relief. I had defended her without creating chaos. Sometimes composure speaks louder than rage ever could. It wasn't only about protecting her in that moment. It was about demonstrating that dignity and respect outweigh ego and aggression. By the following day, news of the incident had spread throughout her workplace. Those who had witnessed it shared the story, and before long, Daniel's standing among his peers had crumbled. He attempted to minimize the situation, but few accepted his version. The facts were plain. He had crossed a clear line, and I had drawn a boundary he would not cross again. Sarah's supervisor even contacted me personally to apologize for the unacceptable conduct and assured us that the matter would be addressed appropriately. In the end, that evening accomplished more than silencing a room. It reinforced our marriage. Sarah later told me she had never felt so supported or valued in all our years together. For me, the lesson was straightforward. Love is proven not just through words, but through decisive action when it truly counts. And sometimes, the strongest response isn't anger or force. It's standing firm with calm certainty, making it unmistakably clear where the line is drawn.